Hi everybody, Dan Illman, Mike Beer taking a look back at the Grade 3 Robert B. Lewis Stakes run on Saturday, February the 1st at Santa Anita as part of our Kentucky Derby Prep Recap Series. We break from the gate, all eyes on the number 2. 1,000 Words, the 3-5 favorite in here, way the horse to beat on paper, and 1,000 Words never wins by much, but he gets the job done each and every time.
Ain't that the truth? I mean, so far through his career, he's not going to blow you away. But listen, I like what he did in this race, Dan. He showed something a little different here, sitting in behind horses for a very long time. And when we pick it up at the top of the stretch, he's going to force his way clear.
No, in ways he's very professional in that he'll do whatever the jockey wants him to do. He'll sit outside, he'll sit inside, he'll rate. He does like a fight in the stretch, as we'll see a little bit later. And then there are some things that are a little bit green about him. It seems like at times he loafs during his races and he only runs when really pressed to do so. Meanwhile, he's sitting in a loose pocket behind the other Bob Baffert train runner, High Velocity, who once again tried 1,000 Words after finishing third to that one in the Los Alamitos Futurity. I just think High Velocity wants shorter distances.
Yeah, I think that's probably what Baffert thought too after his last race. He decided to give him one more chance here around 2 turns. And it feels like now they're going to have to cut him back because, you know, right here, Dan, he's going to hold this challenge around the 2nd turn and briefly get clear through the upper stretch, but he just can't see out this distance.
That challenger, recent maiden winner, Tis a Magician for Dick Mandela under full-out pressure, can't get past High Velocity. The seam opens up for 1,000 Words, while the eventual runner-up Royal Act comes 4 wide. 1,000 Words undaunted by being in a little bit of a tight spot, splitting horses, but he has to work here to reel in this High Velocity. But from what we've seen from the 3 starts, he does like a fight. We see him reaching out for ground. He gets past High Velocity. Now he gets a good look at Royal Act, and he keeps on rolling along. It reminds me a little bit, and I mentioned this in the stakes preview, of Game Winner, the Baffert-trained champion 2-year-old. He never won by large margins, but it seemed like he wanted a fight. Game Winner, I think that eventually kind of caught up with him when he faced better competition. This horse earned a 92 Beyer speed figure. He was a $1 million yearling. He is by a sire that has sired a Triple Crown winner. 1,000 Words right now, it's hard to knock anything he's done on the track.
No, I think he's run well in all 3 of his starts. He is one of those horses, as you say, he likes to sort of mix it up a little bit. He really does seem like he'll only do what he has to do to win. And as you say, that'll catch up to you eventually. You're not going to get away with that for too long. But he's run well in all 3 of his starts. He's taken small steps forward. We'll see what happens next. He's going to have to keep going forward.
Let's talk about 2 caveats. We've praised 1,000 Words, and deservedly so. I think we should mention that this year's edition of the Robert B. Lewis may not be remembered fondly as a true Kentucky Derby prep when we look back on it months and years down the road. High Velocity might kind of looks like a sprinter. I guess Royal Act could be any kind. This was his dirt debut after racing on the turf, and he did lose ground turning into the stretch.
Yeah, I mean, they sort of kept him 3 wide for most of the race. Right up close to the pace, though. He wasn't, you know, badly compromised as far as how the race was run. Forced 4 wide at the top of the stretch. He had a shot at this. He just wasn't quite good enough. I didn't think he ran poorly. I also didn't feel like I wanted to bet him wherever he turns up next.
And I think if you're a Tis a Magician fan, you're not only disappointed they didn't win, but you're disappointed that after challenging High Velocity pretty much from the 3-furlong pole all the way down to the wire, he could never get past that horse.
Yeah, it was pretty disappointing. He got the trip that I think you wanted him to get if you liked him in this race, sitting right up on a horse that you thought was distance challenged. As it turns out, Tis a Magician just wasn't good enough. Not only to get by that horse, he wasn't good enough to finish in the top 3.
Encoder, like Royal Act, trying dirt in here, and I think this might be a very short-lived experiment. He seems a lot more comfortable on the grass.
Well, he's bred for that surface. I like him a lot more as a turf horse.
Let's also talk about this horse's pedigree. Now, we mentioned he's by Pioneer of the Nile, who, of course, sired American Pharaoh to win the Triple Crown. You look at the bottom of this pedigree, though, and there's a lot of sprint influences. The Dam Pomeroy's Pistol was a very fast horse, a multiple graded stakes winning sprinter by the sprint stallion Pomeroy. I'm a little bit concerned how 1,000 Words will do as the distances get longer. He certainly acts like he wants to go long, but I do wonder if the sprint influences on the bottom of his pedigree will adversely affect him at some point.
I mean, the pedigree might eventually catch up to him. We'll see what happens. I'm going to go on what we've seen on the track. And he seems to me like a horse when he runs, like he does want more distance. So I'm not going to worry about that pedigree until it comes up and bites him.
But what else is new? 1,000 words, one of many in the Baffert Armada getting set for the 2020 Kentucky Derby. He wins the Grade 3 Robert B. Lewis. He's 3 for 3 in his career. He earned a 92 Beyer speed figure, and he is one of the best in the West.